Hey there, my name is TribalInstincts, and today I am covering for you the month of June and all of the awesome VR news that came out of it. Now, I'm not going to touch on anything that happened in E3. I already did that. If you didn't see it, there's a link in the description below for that video. To get us started, we're going to be talking about the tracking updates first. Valve has announced what they're calling SteamVR Tracking 2.0. So the current tracking technology relies on something called the sync blinker. This is how the lighthouses stay in communication and are able to send the data that the Vive or any of the other tracking devices can understand what that data is. That sync blinker has actually been attributed to the largest source of interference for the tracking system. In addition, it's also an expensive piece. With the 2.0 update, that piece is gone. They've figured out a way, instead of relying on that sync blink, to actually allow the lasers themselves to send out a pulse of data that the end receivers are able to use that to identify what that sensor is and where it's coming from. That seemingly simple change contributes to some really significant gains. For one, you're able to have multiple lighthouses in your tracking area. So you could potentially track a warehouse or maybe your entire house. I haven't seen anything yet that really lays out exactly what this means for how your tracking rooms are going to be able to be laid out, nor have I seen information on how many is the upper limit of how many trackers you can have, but it does say you can have multiple, which I'm really excited for potentially being able to track everything up to my stairs. I'm not going to be going down my stairs in VR. Another great improvement to this is, of course, whenever you remove pieces, you reduce cost. They're saying that these new lighthouses and all the tracking technology that goes into making the lighthouses and the supporting pieces, apparently that's going to cost a significant amount less to make. Now, one of the biggest questions that I'm sure you're having right now is, will this work with my existing stuff? The answer to that is some of it. So your existing lighthouses will continue to function with new devices, new tracked objects. So the new Knuckles that are coming out, even if they're going to be using the new tracking technology, your existing lighthouse will function with it. Same thing goes with any headsets that come out. As long as you're using your existing Vive lighthouses, it will work with any of the new tracked devices that come out using the 2.0 tracking. What won't work is if you try to upgrade your lighthouses to the new ones, none of your existing devices will function with it because the data that it's sending out is not compatible with the existing headsets. While, of course, complete backwards compatibility is ideal, this is not a complete end-all situation because you're probably not just going to be running out and buying new lighthouses, and unless HTC just decides to stop selling the existing tech, then we're still in a pretty decent spot. Now, of course, though, that does mean that if you don't update all of your devices to the new tracking technology, you won't get the benefits of the new tracking technology. So the multiple room support potentially and the expanded room scale spaces, that obviously won't be in effect until you upgrade your entire set. Again, just to reiterate, this is only really going to impact people that are really looking forward to having that house scale tracking or the much, much larger spaces. For 99% of the consumers, this is not going to be a bad backwards compatibility issue. It'll just be whenever you're deciding to upgrade to a new headset and you really want to go all out, then fine, upgrade all of your stuff. However, in the meantime, though, your existing lighthouses will exist and work with the new devices. According to the documentation that Valve has released on this, they're going to have development units already in the hands, they said as of June, so as of now, people are already able to work with this new technology and integrate it with their devices. They're saying that they're going to have production quantities this November. Now, that really sparks the question, in November, what is going to be out that's going to use this? Because like I said, if you upgrade your lighthouses, you got to upgrade everything else. And so what's the point if there's no new hardware that can support it? I've got a couple theories on this. Nothing that I've read that confirms this so far, but I can't imagine they're just going to release lighthouses that don't work for anybody. So my expectation is that either A, and maybe it's A and B, either A, they come out with a lower priced headset, so reducing the cost of the entire unit as it exists, so maybe like a Vive 1.5 or something, not a complete new version, but a lighter, more efficient, better tracking version. In addition, you may have like LG coming into the table with a new headset that may use the new tech. No matter what, I'll be excited to see what happens in November. It all typically lines up. They want to probably drop a sale right before Christmas, release something new so that everybody buys it for, the Christmas tree. But no matter what, that's a win for us because we're going to get new stuff, hopefully more competitive pricing, more competitors in general to drive new innovations and just better products overall. On the other side of that tracking stuff, we have new controllers coming out, the Knuckle controllers. Now, this news is not news in terms of the concept itself. We've known about the Knuckle controllers for, I believe, until at least October of last year, like the Steam Dev Days. I think that's probably the first time that we heard about it, and these are going to be really cool. Specs have released and units are already in developers' hands, and we've already seen videos coming out showing the actual interaction and how you're actually able to close individual fingers and have all of that awesome interaction. It will be very interesting to see how developers use this and what sort of additional improvements we get. I'm really looking forward to Star Trek Bridge Crew using this, because using a controller and like trying to reach your hand out, it's all really weird. But if I'm able to use one little finger and maybe have two fingers and slide some things up and down at the same time, that's going to be really cool. I cannot wait for this. And of course, the emotes are going to be awesome. Like, you can tell everybody that you love them, and all sorts of emotes that are just going to be so much more engaging and expressive in your virtual reality space. To just go ahead and cover the full spectrum of SteamVR, we started off with lighthouses, and then we went to controllers, and now we're going to talk about the software. SteamVR Home was released for beta earlier on this month, and it's already out, and it is now just a standard thing for the HTC Vive, and I really, really like it, and not just because it was my idea. Okay, so I'm not really taking credit for this. However, I am proud of the fact that I use this as one of my submission pieces for the contest that won me my Vive Pre way back when. Long story if you don't already know it. So I thought it was a great idea then, and I still think it's an awesome idea, and I'm really excited for this. Now, I'm typically not a sucker for collectibles. Like the SteamVR trading cards, I couldn't care less about those things. However, for this, I am kind of geeking out a little bit. The idea of being able to play a game, get an achievement, and be able to use that to decorate and kind of deck out and like present your awesome home to your friends, that's going to be pretty cool. I really hope they expand on this, include more developers. Right now, it's just a small handful of things that you can unlock, and I'm really wanting this to just go for everything. My main thing is I want to get Ark. Well, first off, I want Ark in VR, but I also want to have little dinosaurs running around. That was like, you know, the example piece that I gave, and I want that to be a thing. So please, Ark developers, Steam, work together. Make this happen for me. All right, now we're moving on to something that is not quite so happy. ZeniMax is once again going after Oculus for their theft of intellectual property. If you don't already know, ZeniMax actually already won some cases back a couple months ago where Facebook had to pay out some pretty significant sums of money. ZeniMax is now trying to get a 20% cut of the sales of the Oculus for 10 years, or they're trying to make them stop selling it altogether. So far, Oculus's defense on this has not appeared to be very stellar. Saying things like rewriting everything would be lengthy, burdensome, and costly. That's like saying, please don't make me follow the law because it'd be hard. And things get a little bit more childish from there, saying that things wouldn't be so hard if they had asserted their claim in a more timely fashion. That's like a kid stealing a lollipop and saying that he shouldn't get in trouble because he already ate half of it. And then they go on to say that ZeniMax isn't offering any products that compete with the Oculus platform, which is kind of like saying he wasn't eating that lollipop anyway. All right, so I know I'm bashing like Oculus nonstop on this one, and while I expect that they really probably did something really, really shady, I don't want this to go into an Oculus block. And nor do I even really say that 20% probably is realistic, but ultimately it does seem like they did use ZeniMax's technology. So I expect in the end Oculus will owe ZeniMax something, and this will all come down to money. I don't expect that ZeniMax is just going to try to block the sales. That would not be a good thing for VR. While I am obviously in the Vive camp, I am in the room scale camp, I love everything that SteamVR is doing, and I really don't like most of the stuff that Oculus is doing. I don't want them to die off because I think that that's going to burn a lot of early adopters, a lot of VR consumers, and I don't want that. That is not what I want us to all move away from exclusivity, and that's my major beef with them. If we can move off of that, then I'd be fine with them. But no matter what, I don't want them to shut down, and I don't want a lot of people to get burned off of VR. So Oculus and ZeniMax, both of you go to your rooms and don't come out until you've resolved this, okay? Stop fighting, make things work, make good VR. Speaking of Oculus, remember that Palmer Luckey guy that used to have something to do with Oculus? I believe he was pretty high up there in there, right? So it turns out that he either maybe is just really mad at Facebook, or maybe he's not as happy with what Facebook has done to his system. He has donated $2,000, or excuse me, he has pledged $2,000 a month to CrossVR. CrossVR is the developer behind the Revive platform, that system that allows Oculus titles to work on the SteamVR platform. That $2,000 pushed him over all of his pledge goals in one fell swoop, which that final goal was for him to be able to join the Kronos group, which is working on the OpenXR standard, which is going to be similar to OpenGL to graphics card. The OpenXR standard is supposed to be able to standardize the VR interface with the headset. So it's potentially going to be below even the SteamVR layer or the Oculus SDK layer. It's going to be a layer between the headset and any of the other SDKs to make things hopefully much much more compatible across the board. Whether or not this was a vengeance thing towards Facebook, or if this was Palmer just really trying to invest in something to hopefully expand VR, I don't know, but no matter what, I am really, really happy that Palmer has done this, because CrossVR has done an amazing thing for VR as a whole. It allows people to work on both systems, and he's done a great job doing it. All right, guys, that is my recap for the month of June. I had intended on having a developer interview at the end of this. However, sadly, that fell through, and I didn't want to delay this out another week or 2 weeks to make that happen. So for now, this is it. Hopefully next month, I will have a additional benefit at the end of these videos to bring you more than just VR news once a month. For now, though, guys, tell me what you think of this format. Tell me what you think of continuing to do this. Is this something that you value, or are you okay just going out there and finding the information on your own? No matter what, thank you so much for watching this, and a huge, huge thank you to the people in Discord that helped me source and get this news in a condensed format so I don't have to Google everything every single day to find out new information. They're helping me bring the information in, and then once I have those links, I go in and I do the research on them and I figure out what they actually mean. But it definitely streamlined my process to be able to have that root node to be able to go forth and figure out cool stuff. All right, so in the Bulletin More video, I promised some keys to you guys. Thanks to Patrick, the developer of BAM. He gave me some extra to give out to you guys, so here it is. The winners of this are chosen at random by a tool that I use called TubeBuddy. This isn't a promotion, just telling you how I'm doing it. It allows me to actually just click a button to say pick a winner, and it picks a random comment out of the video. So in this case, I'm doing the comments from the BAM video, obviously, and I've already pre-recorded this. I just went through it and I just iterated through it. Now I am going to go back and read y'all's comments because it just seems like the nice thing to do. First winner, David Jones. Playing as a zombie looks cool. It is actually really, really cool. I love the zombie probably more than anything else. Test that. Awesome video. I've played a demo of this many times hoping for a key. Thanks. You've got one. You're welcome. Stuwok, you already have a key. I'm not giving you another one. Nice try. He was in the video. So he obviously already has a key that I gave him. Stumble Ace. Paint cables green so they don't show up in the video. I've tried this many times. I keep on finding the wrong kind of paint. Harbinger 50. Haha, zombie. Looks funny. Sorry, I missed it. Came back from mowing for hours and I'm sorry I missed this. I'm disappointed. Don't be disappointed. You have a key. Wayne Thiens, sorry if I didn't say that. Give me the key. You've got a key. Congratulations. Next time I'm going to play that back a little bit slower. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for participating in that. I kind of like the idea of doing this once a month, so I'm not saying how I'm going to do this yet, but there will be more keys, and I like giving them away. It's just so much fun. So once again, thanks for Patrick for hooking me up with those so I can give them out to you guys, and that's all I got for today. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button below. If you didn't, hit the downvote button and tell me what I can do to make them better. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe and the bell icon, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.